What's the new evidence now?
Satellite photo near Sao Paulo. The agent who was studying the swarm noticed something out in the water. When they zoomed in, though, they got this. Those are 40-foot buses, and when you compare them next to the first photo, I'd say that's a 70-foot shark.
Indeed, this is Megalodon.
The ocean covers 71% of Earth's surface and holds a staggering 96.5% of all the planet's water, a volume of about 320 million cubic miles. But even with such vastness, there's far more happening beneath and above the waves than we can imagine. From a cargo ship snapping in half to a recently captured megalodon near South Africa, here are 20 shocking moments caught in the middle of the ocean. Number 20. Cargo ship snaps in half. A bridge camera, known for its ability to capture stunning landscapes and wildlife, recently found itself in the middle of an unexpected event off the coast of Turkey. The camera's owner, a seasoned photographer, was out on a routine shoot when they stumbled upon a cargo ship in distress. As the photographer quickly set up their bridge camera, they noticed that the ship was beginning to break apart right before their eyes. The camera captured the dramatic moment when the ship snapped in half, sending crates and containers tumbling into the ocean. The bridge camera's ability to zoom in on the action allowed for some impressive shots of the ship's demise. From the bow snapping in two to the cargo containers falling into the sea, the camera captured every moment of the ship's destruction. All in all, the bridge camera proved to be a valuable tool in capturing a unique moment in time. While the ship's fate was unfortunate, the photographer's quick thinking helped to turn a potentially somber situation into a memorable experience. Number 19. A deer caught in the middle of the sea. You won't believe what the fishermen reeled in as their catch of the day. A swimming deer. It seems like this deer decided to take a break from the forest and go for a dip in the ocean. Fishers couldn't believe their eyes when they saw what was happening 6 miles offshore. As the deer paddled around, the fishermen spotted it struggling to stay afloat and knew they had to act fast. They pulled the deer onto their boat and gave it a ride back to shore. The deer looked a little confused by the whole ordeal but seemed grateful to be back on solid ground. Maybe it was just trying to impress its deer friends with its swimming skills but ended up in over its head. The video was recorded from far away, and the people on the boat initially thought they were seeing a big fish. However, when they got closer, they saw the unexpected and were shocked. It was a deer in the middle of the sea. This is just further proof that you never know what you might catch when you're out on the water. Maybe next time these fishermen will reel in a mermaid or a unicorn. The possibilities are endless. All jokes aside, it's great to see these fishermen going out of their way to help a fellow creature in need. It's not every day you see people putting themselves on the line for an animal, but these guys clearly have a soft spot for nature. Who knows, maybe the deer will return the favor and teach them how to catch fish with its hooves, or maybe it will just stick to frolicking in the forest and leave the swimming to the fish. Either way, this is a fishing story that these guys will be telling for years to come. It just goes to show that you never know what kind of adventure you might have when you're out on the water. Can you blame us for preferring to stay on land most of the time after hearing a story like this? Number 18. Gigantic fish pulling Florida fishermen. A recent video out of Florida has captured the attention of fishing enthusiasts and animal lovers. The video shows a group of fishermen out on the water when they suddenly catch a massive fish that's not happy about being caught. The video quickly takes a turn for the unexpected when the fish begins pulling on the fishing line with such force that it drags the fisherman right out of the boat and into the water. The video, which has since gone viral, has inspired plenty of jokes and commentary. Some people have suggested that the fish should join the NFL, while others have joked that the fisherman should have packed a bigger boat. The video is a reminder of the power of nature and the importance of respecting the animals we share the planet with. While the fisherman may have been caught off guard, the fish was simply doing what it could to survive. As the video ends with the fishermen being pulled into the water, it's clear that they've gained a newfound respect for the creatures they're trying to catch. While it may not have been the most successful fishing trip, it's certainly one they'll never forget. The video serves as a reminder to all of us that sometimes nature has a way of surprising us. Whether we're fishing for a massive catch or simply enjoying the beauty of the natural world, it's important to approach it with a sense of wonder and respect. Number 17. Tiki house in the middle of the ocean. The ocean may be a world that scientists crave to study. It may be a place that sparks countless stories and movies, but at the same time, it can be a location that drums up all sorts of crazy scenarios that no writer on the planet could come up with. Trust us, we know. How do we know? Because this next one on our list is downright unbelievable. Picture this. You're out in the middle of the ocean, floating on a raft made of bamboo, when suddenly you come across a tiki house. It's like something straight out of a cheesy 70s movie. But this isn't just any tiki house. It's a floating paradise complete with palm trees, hammocks, and an unlimited supply of fruity cocktails. It's like Gilligan's Island, but on steroids. The tiki house is manned by a group of islanders who are happy to welcome you aboard and show you around. They even offer to make you a grass skirt and teach you the hula dance if you're feeling adventurous. Of course, there are a few downsides to living in a tiki house in the middle of the ocean. For one thing, you have to catch your own fish if you want to eat, and if you're not a great fisherman, you might be eating a lot of seaweed. Then there's the issue of privacy. When you're living in close quarters with a group of strangers, things can get a little awkward. You might find yourself having to share a hammock with a guy named Carl who snores like a freight train. Still, the tiki house is a pretty sweet setup. Who needs a house with a white picket fence when you have a floating tiki paradise? Just make sure you don't forget the sunscreen. You don't want to get sunburned while sipping on a Mai Tai. Number 16. Men found clinging to cooler miles from Florida. Well, it looks like these guys took the cool in cooler a little too seriously. 2 men were found clinging to a cooler miles from Florida after a day of fishing went awry. It's not every day you see someone floating on a cooler in the middle of the ocean, but hey, to each their own. Apparently, the men had set out on a fishing trip when their boat started taking on water. Instead of going down with the ship, they grabbed onto their trusty cooler and held on for dear life. And you thought coolers were just for keeping your drinks cold. When the Coast Guard finally found them, they were miles from shore and probably feeling pretty relieved to see a friendly face. Let's be honest, they were probably also feeling pretty silly for clinging to a cooler for dear life. Now it's time for today's topic. In the treacherous waters surrounding Dyer Island, South Africa, known as Shark Alley, fishermen have been coming back with spine-chilling tales. For months, they reported seeing an enormous shadow lurking beneath the waves, larger than anything they've encountered before. Many began to whisper the unthinkable. Could the legendary Megalodon still roam these waters? The sightings became so frequent that marine authorities decided to investigate. Using advanced sonar technology, a team ventured into the area to uncover the truth. On a stormy afternoon, their equipment detected something massive, moving at an impossible speed for any known shark species. As the team braced themselves, the sea erupted. What they witnessed left them speechless. A colossal shark breached the surface, its sheer size dwarfing their research vessel. Its gaping maw and serrated teeth were straight out of nightmares. Biologists later analyzed the footage and samples taken from the area. They concluded that while this creature resembled a great white shark, its size and behavior were far beyond the norm. Could this be a surviving megalodon? Or has some genetic anomaly given rise to an unusually massive predator? While scientists remain divided, fishermen are more cautious than ever, reluctant to cast their nets into waters that may hide an ancient apex predator. Whatever the truth may be, the legend of Shark Alley has grown stronger than ever. Number 15. Angry hippo chases the boat. Remember that game Hungry Hippos? It was a classic before things like Fortnite and TikTok took over our attention. Just because that hippo game is no longer as popular, it doesn't mean that hippos themselves aren't still hungry or angry for that matter. Boy, do we have a story for you. It looks like one hippo has had enough of people speeding through its lake. A viral video shows an angry hippo chasing a speedboat, and it's absolutely hilarious. The hippo looks like it means business, with its massive jaws wide open and its eyes locked on the speedboat. It's like something out of a nature documentary, if the documentary was filmed by a group of college students on spring break. The people on the boat are clearly terrified, but they're also cracking up at the ridiculousness of the situation. Who knew that a hippo could move so fast? It's like watching a tank on roller skates. At one point, the hippo gets so close to the boat that you can practically smell its breath. It's as if it's trying to give the people a stern warning. Slow down or face the consequences. Of course, there's a lesson to be learned here. When you're out on the water, it's important to respect wildlife and not do anything that could endanger yourself or animals. But let's be honest, it's hard to take anything seriously when there's a giant hippo chasing you through the lake. In the end, the speedboat manages to outrun the hippo, but not before getting a stern lecture from Mother Nature. And as for the hippo, it probably went back to its day job of sunbathing and munching on water plants. But you can bet it'll be keeping an eye out for more speedboats in the future. Here at the channel, we have a rule: steer clear of angry hippos. Call us crazy, but that rule has kept us out of trouble for as long as we can remember. Number 14. A fisherman rescues bald eagle from death grip of an octopus. Have you seen the latest viral video taking the internet by storm? It's a heartwarming tale of bravery and heroism, featuring a group of fishermen saving a bald eagle from the clutches of a ferocious octopus. The video starts with the bald eagle struggling to free itself from the octopus's tentacles. It's a tense moment, but then the fishermen swoop in to save the day. Using their fishing nets, they carefully extract the eagle from the octopus's grasp. And just like that, the crowd goes wild. But wait, there's more. As if that weren't enough, the eagle proceeds to turn the tables on the octopus, grabbing it in its talons and flying off into the sunset. It's like something straight out of an action movie. Of course, as with any viral video, there are always skeptics. Some people are saying the whole thing was staged, that it was just a bunch of fishermen with a puppet eagle. But we prefer to believe it was real, that these brave souls risked life and limb to save a majestic creature from the clutches of a slimy sea monster. So, to all the fishermen out there, bravo! You've shown us all what it means to be a true hero. And to the bald eagle, all we can say is, you're one lucky bird. After all, how many animals can say they've been saved by a group of human fishermen? Number 13. Sea unicorn. Sometimes, there are concepts out there we don't imagine until we're faced with them. Our imaginations are incredible, but the world often has even stranger things to offer. For example, we all know what a unicorn is, but how about one that lives in the ocean? Enter the narwhal, whose tusk is like something out of a fairy tale. Striking footage has added to the mystery surrounding this fascinating creature. The video shows a narwhal swimming gracefully through icy waters, its long tusk gleaming in the sunlight. It's like watching a unicorn in its natural habitat, except, instead of rainbows and glitter, it's surrounded by icebergs and polar bears. Scientists have been studying the narwhal's tusk for years, trying to figure out its purpose. Some speculate it's used for hunting, while others think it's a tool for navigation or communication. But let's be honest, we all secretly hope it's because narwhals are really into cosplay. The mystery surrounding the tusk only adds to the allure. It's like a puzzle we're all trying to solve, if the puzzle were made of ivory and had a pointy end. Of course, we must remember that the narwhal is a living creature that deserves our respect. We don't want to end up like the guy from Moby Dick. Nobody wants to be chased by a vengeful narwhal with a grudge. The narwhal's tusk is a fascinating and beautiful thing, a reminder that there's still so much we don't know about the world. Sometimes, the most mysterious things are also the most magical. Number 12. Little bitty boats and big sharks. Some of the best ocean stories don't surround small fish, like in Finding Nemo. No, people absolutely love hearing about monsters like sharks. This great white shark, however, has had enough of being typecast as the villain in Jaws. In a hilarious turn of events, a film crew was attacked by a great white shark, and the video is absolutely priceless. The shark, clearly tired of being portrayed as a mindless killing machine, decided to take matters into its own fins. It's like a scene from a bad horror movie, but with a comedic twist. The people on the boat are understandably freaked out, but they're also laughing at the absurdity of the situation. It's like watching a puppy attack a stuffed animal. It's scary but also kind of adorable. At one point, the shark actually jumps into the boat, sending the crew scrambling for safety. It's like a game of whack-a-mole, except instead of moles, it's a giant toothy fish. Of course, we have to remember that sharks are still wild animals that deserve respect. Nobody wants to end up stranded in the middle of the ocean with a vengeful great white shark. All jokes aside, this video reminds us that the most unexpected things can happen in nature. Who knows? Maybe this shark just wanted to prove it's more than a one-dimensional movie villain, or maybe it just wanted to play a little game of tag. Either way, it's a hilarious and unforgettable moment. Number 11. Sea lions playing with huge waves. Sea lions surfing giant waves. Now that's a sight to behold. Who knew these blubbery creatures were such gnarly shredders? In a recent video making waves, pun intended, on the internet, a group of sea lions was caught showing off their surfing skills off the coast of California. The sleek and agile creatures can be seen riding massive waves like they've been doing it all their lives. It's truly an awesome display of athleticism and grace. We've got to admit we're a little jealous. We've been trying to catch waves like that for years, and these sea lions make it look so effortless. Maybe we should trade in our surfboards for seal costumes. Of course, we can't help but wonder what they're thinking as they ride those waves. Perhaps they're thinking, I hope I don't get seaweed in my whiskers, or maybe, this is way more fun than chasing fish all day. Either way, it's safe to say these sea lions are living their best lives. They've got the ocean as their playground, they're masters of the waves, and they're just all around adorable. If you're ever feeling down, just remember that somewhere out there, a group of sea lions is probably catching some sick waves and living their best life. And who knows, maybe one day they'll start offering surfing lessons. We'd sign up in a heartbeat. Number 10. An iceberg tsunami. A recent viral video has captured the attention of people around the world, showing a near-deadly encounter with an iceberg tsunami in Antarctica. The video was taken by a group of researchers who were studying the effects of climate change on the polar ice caps. As they were conducting their research, the group suddenly heard a loud cracking sound. Within moments, an enormous iceberg had calved from the glacier and created a massive wave barreling toward them. The video shows the panicked researchers scrambling to get out of the way as the wave of icy water approached. Despite the humor, the danger was real. The researchers narrowly escaped the iceberg's path and were left with a newfound respect for the power of nature. As the video went viral, people couldn't help but add their humorous comments. One person joked that the researchers must have forgotten to say "open sesame" to the glacier, while another suggested that the iceberg should audition for the next Fast and Furious movie. The video serves as a reminder of the importance of studying climate change and its effects on our planet. While we can laugh at the absurdity of an iceberg tsunami, the reality is that these events are becoming more frequent and more dangerous. In the end, the researchers were lucky to escape unharmed, and their video serves as a cautionary tale for anyone who underestimates the power of nature. Number 9. Camels go for a swim in Oman. When you think about camels, your first thought might be of the desert. But the truth is, they love water just as much as we do, maybe even a little too much. Have you heard the one about the camels who went for a swim in Oman? It sounds like the setup to a bad joke, but it actually happened. Footage of camels swimming in the ocean in Oman has been making the rounds online, capturing the attention of viewers and sparking plenty of humorous comments. Some joked that the camels were trying to escape the scorching desert heat, while others suggested they were on the hunt for buried treasure. In reality, the camels were probably just feeling adventurous and wanted to try something new. And who can blame them? When was the last time you saw a camel in a bikini? As the camels paddled around in the ocean, they looked surprisingly graceful, with their humps bobbing up and down in the water. It's clear they were having a great time, even if they looked a little out of place. Of course, some pointed out that camels aren't exactly built for swimming. With their heavy bodies and stumpy legs, they're more suited for trudging through sand than gliding through water. But you have to admire their spirit of adventure. Who knows? Maybe camels will take up water sports as a new hobby. Forget about the Olympics, we would pay to see camel sports as long as they're ethical. Number 8. 2 teens rescued. Did you hear about those heroic fishermen who rescued 2 teen girls swept out to sea in Monterey Bay? Talk about being in the right place at the right time. Apparently, the girls had been taking a stroll along the beach when a giant wave swept them off their feet and into the water. They tried to swim back to shore, but the current was too strong, pulling them farther and farther out to sea. That's when the fishermen swooped in like knights in shining armor of the sea. They were out there trying to catch some fish, but instead, they ended up catching a big-hearted rescue opportunity. The fishermen quickly pulled the girls onto their boat and brought them safely back to shore. We can only imagine what the girls must have been thinking as they were being rescued. Maybe, wow, these guys really know how to catch a break. Or, I hope they don't ask us to bait their hooks. It's amazing to see people step up and help out in times of need. The ocean can be a beautiful but dangerous place, so it's important to always be aware of your surroundings and never underestimate the power of the waves. Let's give a round of applause to those brave fishermen who saved the day. They may not have caught any big fish that day, but they definitely caught the hearts of 2 very grateful teenage girls. Number 7. Shark chewing the inflatable part of the boat. The ocean is a vast and mysterious place, full of creatures we barely understand. Sometimes, those creatures remind us just how little we know. Case in point, the recent news that a great white shark bit an inflatable boat off the coast of South Africa. A great white shark bit an inflatable boat. Let that sink in for a moment. This is like hearing that a house cat took down a fully grown rhinoceros. It just doesn't seem possible. And yet, here we are. The shark apparently mistook the boat for a seal or some other tasty treat and decided to take a bite. The boat, being inflatable, was no match for the shark's jaws and quickly deflated. Luckily, no one was hurt in the incident, but let's be real, this is pretty hilarious. Just picture it. You're floating along in your little inflatable boat, minding your own business, when suddenly, a massive great white shark comes out of nowhere and takes a bite. While it's a reminder to respect sharks when we're in their territory, there's something undeniably funny about the idea of a shark attacking an inflatable boat. So, if you're ever out on the ocean and you see a great white shark heading your way, just remember, it's not personal. It's just looking for a snack. And if you're in an inflatable boat, well, good luck. Number 6. Waves slam into commuter ferry. A recent video out of Scotland has captured the attention of the internet, showing the terrifying moment when a giant wave shattered a ferry's window. The footage shows the ferry being hit by a massive wave, causing passengers to scream in fear and panic as glass shatters around them. Despite the seriousness of the situation, some people couldn't help but add a touch of humor to the video. One person joked that the wave must have been auditioning for a part in the next Godzilla movie, while another suggested that the ferry was clearly not equipped for such a dramatic performance. While the passengers in the video were lucky to escape with only minor injuries, the situation could have been much worse. As the video continues, you can see passengers trying to shield themselves from broken glass and debris, with one woman even using her handbag as a makeshift shield. While it may seem humorous in retrospect, the reality of the situation was no laughing matter. Whether we're traveling by car, plane, or ferry, it's important to be aware of the risks and take steps to minimize them. And while the giant wave in the video may have been a bit of a show-off, it's a reminder that when it comes to the power of nature, we're all just along for the ride. Number 5. Basketball at sea. Picture this. You're on a ship surrounded by massive waves, trying to shoot a basketball into a hoop. Sounds like a recipe for disaster, right? Well, that's exactly what one brave fan attempted. As he launched the ball towards the hoop, the ship swayed with the waves, causing the ball to miss its mark and soar right off the side of the ship. How many basketballs have they lost in that ocean, bro? One would probably quit as they watched the ball disappear into the depths below. It's a valid question. How many basketballs have met their watery demise due to overzealous shipboard basketball games? But let's give credit where credit is due. Shooting a basketball on a ship is no easy feat with the constant motion of the ship and the unpredictable waves. It's a wonder the ball even made it anywhere close to the hoop. Perhaps this fan was inspired by the famous scene from the movie Titanic where Jack and Rose take turns spitting over the side of the ship, trying to hit a distant buoy. Or maybe he just wanted to show off his basketball skills in the most challenging way possible. Regardless of his motivations, one thing's for sure, this fan's basketball skills are definitely not meant for the high seas. So, the next time you're on a ship and someone suggests a game of basketball, remember the fate of that poor, lost ball and maybe stick to shuffleboard instead. Number 4. Wild dolphins saying hello. Here's one thing about this channel, we usually bring you spooky stuff, discoveries that keep you from looking away while also wanting to look away. But at the end of the day, the world is far from short on crazy discoveries that are oftentimes more spooky than anything else. What's great about our channel is the fact that we're not all doom and gloom. We love variety, and that's why today we bring you a video you most certainly weren't expecting. It's simple, just a wild dolphin waving at the camera. You can't tell us that's not cool and one of the cutest things you've ever seen. Take a look for yourself, as the video is pretty self-explanatory. The cameraman was pretty lucky to capture such a once-in-a-lifetime piece of footage, because where else can you see a dolphin waving like this? We can't help but wonder if all dolphins have a friendly bone in their body like this one. We know that's probably not the case, but one can certainly dream, can't they? If you've ever come across a friendly dolphin like this, let us know in the comments, because hey, we'd love to meet them. Number 3. Great marlin fish jumps into the boat. It looks like this fisherman's catch of the day had a surprise in store for him. A massive marlin jumped into his boat and nearly impaled him. That's right, this fish was so big and powerful that it managed to jump right into the boat with the fisherman standing right there. I guess you could say that's one way to get your catch to come to you. Instead of reeling the fish in, just wait for it to jump into your lap. Who needs a net when you have a boat, right? Of course, the reality of the situation is much more serious. A marlin jumping into a boat can be extremely dangerous, and it's a good thing this fisherman was able to avoid any serious injuries. It's also pretty hilarious to imagine the look on the fisherman's face as a massive marlin comes flying towards him. Talk about a fish story to tell for the rest of your life. In all seriousness, it's important to remember that fishing can be a dangerous activity, and it's crucial to always prioritize safety. Whether you're out on the open ocean or just casting a line from the shore, make sure you have all the proper safety equipment and know how to use it. And if a marlin does happen to jump into your boat, just try to stay calm and avoid any pointy parts. After all, you don't want to end up as the catch of the day. Number 2. Man surviving 11 days in the Atlantic Ocean. Hold on to your fins, folks. This is a story that will have you hooked. A Brazilian fisherman managed to survive 11 days in shark-infested waters inside of a freezer. Looks like the freezer wasn't just keeping the fish fresh. It was keeping Manuel de Souza fresh too. Now, we know that sharks have a bit of a reputation for being cold-blooded killers, but it seems like these ones had a bit of a soft spot for our fisherman friend. Maybe they were on a seafood diet and decided to spare the main course for later. Or maybe they just thought, let's give him a break. He's been through enough already. Either way, it's a good thing he found that freezer floating in the water. Who knows how long he would have lasted if he'd had to swim around with the sharks. It's enough to make you want to invest in a big old freezer for yourself, just in case. But let's give credit where credit is due. His survival skills are nothing to sneeze at. Not only did he manage to find a way to stay afloat, but he also rationed his food and water and even managed to catch some fish to eat. Talk about being resourceful. All in all, it's a fishy tale that'll have you reeling. But it just goes to show that sometimes, when life throws you a curveball, all you need is a little bit of luck and a whole lot of ingenuity, and maybe a freezer. Number 1. Epic humpback whale showing stunts. Just like that friendly dolphin that blew our minds, we now take you to another part of the water where a whale makes a similar splash. As you can see in the footage, this whale has no qualms about showing off, and the people taking the footage are just as amazed as we are. It honestly looks like something right out of the movie Free Willy, but it's not. Of course, this was all too real. We're pretty stoked that whoever captured this footage did so because it's not every day that you see something so crazy captured in real time. In fact, marine biologists have pointed out that such displays might actually be part of the whale's social behavior, or even a way to dislodge parasites from its body. The sheer force of the breach is a reminder of just how powerful these marine giants really are. One expert even noted that this kind of behavior is a rare treat for observers, as whales typically save their energy for migration and feeding. The sight of water spraying everywhere and the massive splash it creates is like nature's own fireworks show. It's not just breathtaking, it's a reminder of how incredible the world's oceans truly are. It's one of those things that, if you don't see it with your own eyes, you most definitely wouldn't believe it. We're also pretty happy that no one got hurt. We may be a little pessimistic here, but that whale came a little too close for comfort when it comes to those onlookers. Luckily, it turned out to be majestic rather than menacing. And there you have it. If you were one of those skeptics who thought the ocean was just water and fish, this list has definitely proven you wrong. As you've seen, the ocean is not only full of mysteries, but also packed with wild and spectacular moments. See you in the next video.